Introducing the epic new Swift. Time to go swifting.
You could sense the nerves with what is at stake, your survival in the tournament, even for a high-flying RCB with scores of 30s, with strike rates of 120s to 150s for the top six. They end up with some handy runs, courtesy Mahipal Lomror, and 172 after Sanju Samson put them in. There were plenty of incidents. There's a lot that happened. We try and cover as much as we can at our halftime show on Maruti Suzuki Arena Presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout, powered by JBL. Tom Moody, Mitchell McClenaghan, Varun. The advantage at halftime belongs with?
I would say Rajasthan Royals, because they bowled really well, especially up top. And even Avesh Khan to come back after those first 2 overs and get those 3 wickets was really important. I still feel they could have throttled them for maybe 10 runs lesser than they have gotten. But all in all, I think Rajasthan has the upper hand.
Mitch?
Yeah, I think Rajasthan's definitely got the upper hand. It swung a little bit, but I just felt RCB were just a little bit timid with the bat, and didn't play the way they'd been playing throughout the tournament. So, exceptional bowling from Trent Boult and Ravi Ashwin. They were superb.
You talk about both of them in a second, but do you agree with that? There was a different RCB, perhaps more nervous RCB today?
Yeah, I think there's a lot at stake, obviously, with this particular one. And not that there wasn't earlier on, but they got on a bit of a roll knowing that, we might as well have a crack here and see where we end up. And where they've ended up is in a playoff position, and now it's real. So suddenly it's real, it becomes a little bit more important, and suddenly you're looking, at the finishing line instead of worrying about sort of what your next step is. For me, the real issue for RCB was the top 4. All of them got starts. 33, 17, 27, 34. That kills you. You're not going to get the total that you need to get when you're top 4, particularly the calibre of that top 4. Not one of them fires a 70-plus score. If they did that, they would have got their par score, which is around about, I think, 190 to 200.
Okay, so they are slightly below par, you sense.
I'd say so, yeah.
Let's talk about the 2 bowlers you brought up. Let's start with Trent Boult.
Superb. He really was. The ball swung. So as soon as the ball swings for Trent Boult, he's even more of a threat. And what I liked about him today was particularly the Faf du Plessis. He didn't give him any width. He had that ball keep on coming into him. Faf has historically struggled with a little bit, so he was able to keep the runs down. And in that power play at the other end, the other bowlers were going for runs. They were getting targeted. And if he hadn't have had a Misley over after one of those big overs, that power play could have ended up being 60, 70 off the power play and launching them from a very good platform to get to that 200 mark that you were talking about, Tom. So it's superb bowling.
Good set of balls that have shown up in Ahmedabad, it seems, yesterday and today.
Absolutely. I think Trent Boult, what stood out for me was his variation of length, because Faf and Virat came out with a very clear plan to step out and combat the swing, but he just never let them really line him up because he was bowling some really good bounces today, didn't let them good back of length balls, and then the odd ball which swung and was full. So they just couldn't line him up. And generally when you see Trent Boult bowling the 3rd over in the power play, that over sometimes can go for a few runs. But today he didn't let that happen as well. So it was really great bowling all in all from him.
And he's swinging it so well. The dream wicket is obviously screamer catcher, deep mid wicket. Rovman Powell with a good one.
Oh, look, absolutely. And hit to the right person.
Yeah.
He doesn't miss too many, Rovman Powell. He's a great athlete. Quick to get to it, so balanced. I was saying to Mitch, when he took that catch, it's like he's made of granite. Rovman Powell, he sort of hits the ground and bounces back up, and he was never dropping it. His hands are like a vice, Don't know why they had to go to the 3rd umpire, but anyway, maybe just have a look at it again because it was such a good catch.
Let's speak of the 3rd umpire, shall we? Let me just reflect from script. Dinesh Karthik ended up getting 11 of 13, so it's not effectively, you'd say, cost them, but
he built a partnership. He built a partnership there with Lomror. If they had lost a wicket there, then it could have gone a different way.
So what
why
was that
is
partnership?
That? I'll just tell you in a
Quickly.
second. Yeah, I'll tell you in a second. That partnership with Karthik and Lomror is 32 of 24.
So that's significant.
Yeah,
very significant. Now, why is that perceived to be a poor decision or a shocker?
Well, it's a poor decision because I felt the umpire only looked at the inside edge of the bat and the timing of the spike of the inside edge of the bat, and then the timing of the spike when he hit the pad. He didn't look at the bat, the toe end of the bat, hitting the front pad at the same time as it spiked. And then drawing conclusion that, hang on, that's the spike, that's what's created the spike. Let me now go to see if there is a gap between the ball and the bat, which there was. So he's quickly drawn the conclusion, oh, there's the spike, and there's the second spike, it's hit the pad, so it's bat, then pad. Not even thinking that there was another consideration that created that spike, which quite often happens when the bat obviously hits the side of your pad or your shoe or whatever it might be.
Yeah, they didn't flip it around either, did they? They didn't go from that side-on view that we saw after. So it was a hasty decision, it really was, and it was costly in the end. Not just, DK didn't get going, but that partnership was significant. And we've seen examples of really, really good decisions from the third umpire, explained really well. Umpire Goff has done that exceptionally well, and we've spoken throughout this tournament, you need to have the best third umpire you can possibly have for these games, because now it's almost more important that your third umpire is your best umpire, or technically with that technology as well, because a lot of those decisions are now getting referred upstairs, and they can make or break games, and that partnership tonight might be the catalyst for RCB sneaking across the line.
Sangha was fuming, but is that now just something that needs correcting? They keep trying to tweak something with the DRS 1 year to the next. We still aren't foolproof. But this is still something that needs to be worked on?
I don't think you can ever be foolproof.
Or closer at least? Like this kind of, would you call that a howler?
It's a
howler.
Yeah, it was. But if there wasn't DRS, then we would just go off what the umpires decide in the middle. So look, there are always layers and sub-layers to problems like this. But at the end of the day, Dinesh Karthik wasn't given out. He was out. And you have to move on with the game and obviously try to take that score down.
Well, there's no point. You're being a politician.
I'm not being a politician.
There's absolutely no point having a third umpire or DRS or anything if you're going to have an approach like that. What the game has got to is a level of trying to get the closest to the right decision. We know there's going to be a human error, and we do also know that ball tracking is not absolutely 100% correct, but it's close to 100%. So that's good enough. So for mine, when you go up to the third umpire to clarify a decision that is being given on field, and it is clearly, there's obviously, issues within that decision, you can't overturn a decision given the circumstances.
I would have been really happy for that too. I know this is an extreme situation. This stuff doesn't happen often, where actually probably even the third umpire a couple of balls later probably would have realised that, hey, that isn't howler, I made a mistake. I would have been happy for them to call the game back to that same point and restart it from the 14.2. I know that's extreme, but in these
the game's moved on.
But I understand that. But you can't have a howler like that where it's been given out.
Yeah, but there's no one superseding the third umpire's decision there.
That's exactly
so you
what
need
I'm saying.
him to get it right.
Exactly what I'm saying. If he's got it wrong, what can you do? I mean, the game has provided all measures to not get it wrong. Now, even if the last person standing gets it wrong, that's on him. That's exactly on him.
100%.
Yeah, so 100%. All I can add to that is, this is something we've discussed when you compare it with other sports, is often when it comes to subjectivity, which this wasn't necessarily the case, or the interpretation of images, at least football, which is still figuring it out, lets the on-field umpire have another look at it, and there needs to be an open dialogue, and it's not like the TV umpire is the final verdict, because I felt, if I have to read Anand Padmanabhan's body language there, he's equally surprised.
He is.
The on-field umpire.
Because in a way,
he knows what's happening.
It's taken away a really good on-field decision. And we all know how hard umpiring is in the middle. And I'm not saying it's easy in the third umpire's box, but it's a hell of a lot easier in the third umpire's box than it is live in the middle. And he's actually nailed that decision. And he deserves credit for that, but it's been taken away from him, that credit.
They'll have to revisit the protocol of DRS, where you allow for maybe a little bit of back and forth with the on-field and the TV ump, to eventually, maybe if he simply says, no, look at the bottom of the bat, TV ump, look at the bottom of the bat, then if there is some form of dialogue where it rests finally with the man
But there's
in
enough
the middle.
talk of the DRS slowing the game down already.
That'll make it worse.
Now,
I have no doubt.
if they start having conversations, then we'll have games getting over at 2 o'clock. You know, so
We'll start 2 hours earlier.
that's a good idea.
Well, you can't stress on a point the panel's made multiple times on the need for specialist TV umpires, and let's see where that goes. As it turns out, remember the partnership, not DK's hitting necessarily, but the partnership. Quick other major points that happened there. It's always a story. Glenn Maxwell, when he gets out like that.
That was a shocking shot. It was absolutely shocking because I understand if it was a ball to be hit, you hit it and you miscue it. It was a good ball coming in. I think that was just not on that shot at that point. He could have just absorbed for maybe a few balls and then gone big because you've already lost quite a few wickets. You're big players in the dugout. You're the most notable player who's at the crease at that point, and then you play a shot like that, and that's letting your team down in a very big day.
I think I put it down to as being reckless. I think at that moment, I thought it was reckless. I think at the moment where he's at with regards to his form, it's reckless. If he was red hot and flying with form, I don't have an issue with him at all hitting that first ball straight for 6, because 19 times out of 20 he hit it for 6. It's a bit like when we've seen Dubé do it for CSK. First ball in his arc, bang, goes for 6, and we're all up there applauding it. Maxwell's the same, but Maxwell's not in that sweet spot when it comes to form. So I put that down just to reckless cricket and an absolute brain fade.
All right, let's take nothing away from the impact Ashwin has had, though, on this game.
Superb. Yeah, superb. He really was. We spoke about maybe in the pre-show to this about how you're going to shut Patidar down, and it's getting inside the arc, and that's exactly what he did. He came with a clear plan to not give him his hands, and he didn't allow him to get one away. And I thought it was superb. I thought his plans were exceptional. Chahal looked like when he got under pressure, he went to those wide deliveries which got hurt. Yeah. And then every time he came back under the body, under the feet to the RCB batsmen, particularly Patidar, they struggled. So Ashwin stuck to his plans. These moments, you expect big players to stand up, and Boult and Ashwin were superb.
Yep, I mean, he could have had 3, but for perhaps most bizarre drop catch, with Rujurel's been so good right through the tournament. Big wicket of Patidar as well, who got a few more. Let's take predictions now and see if indeed Rajasthan are to chase this. KKR made light work of a 160-odd chase yesterday. Varun, Arun, outrageous pick and prediction.
Outrageous pick, I think RCB is going to win this.
Ooh, okay. Slightly more specifically, perhaps, for it to be outrageous. It's a 50-50 chance.
What specific?
I mean, it's a 50-50 chance that they'll win it. So one out of the 2 teams will.
Obviously,
Will they bowl them out?
Okay,
Otherwise,
my outrageous pick. All right, I'll do my outrageous pick. My outrageous pick will be.
You want to take a minute?
I'll take a minute.
He's waiting for another reference.
Tom, show him how it's done. Tom, come on, show him how it's done.
I think Rajasthan are going to chase this down quite comfortably.
Right.
In the 18.3, I think.
18.3,
I think, yes.
And
I think Collar Cadmore is going to get a 50 in his first 50 in IPL cricket.
TKC to get 50. Okay, I'll take that.
I don't know where that's come from, but anyway.
I think Rajasthan will chase it down easily as well. 17.3 overs.
All right.
And I think they'll be on more. They'll be on 64 or more at the end of the power play. 64
or more at the end of the power play.
Mine's 50 or more, just to clarify, just in case it comes back and bites me if he gets 51. And suddenly, oh, no, you said 50. 50 or more.
Okay, how about Yash Dayal is getting Jaiswal out in his first 2 overs?
Dayal to get Jaiswal in his first 2.
Is that fine?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that.
All right. And RCB are going to win this.
Okay, I'll take that. By 2 runs.
Under 10 runs.
Under 10 runs. That's what I like. See? That's what I like. Okay, they have to get Jaiswal. I like how that sounds.
Proper number. By how many
runs? But that's not his outrageous
By how many
pick.
runs?
I said under 10 runs.
But that's not his outrageous pick,
all right,
so we
Mitch,
don't have
that's
to worry
it.
about that.
Stop it now. Thank you. I'm bullying Varun, Arun. Varun, thank you very much. Varun, Tom,
So cheeky.
always a pleasure. Let's see who still survives in the tournament and who will be eliminated at the end of the Eliminator. Join us then on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout, powered by JBL. Download the mobile app, fastest scores, and so much more as Rajasthan Royals look to win for the first time since the end of April. Let's see if they manage it.
Introducing the epic new Swift. Time to go swifting.